Hello everyone and welcome to Van Tech Corner. In the previous video, we already checked out the throughput of the NanoPi R6S, and we have also taken a look at the power consumption of the device. In this video, let's take a look at the throughput of NanoPi R6S with OpenVPN and Wireguard VPN with both OpenSpeedTest and iPub3. So here is the network diagram that I will be using for the test. In the middle is the NanoPi R6S running FriendlyWrt, and it will be updated to the latest release. The NanoPi R6S is connected to the upstream router with a 2.5 gigabit link speed, and it is connected to my PC also with the 2.5 gigabit link speed. So this is the overall connection, and this is my upstream router. It had an IP address of 10.42.0.1 for the LAN IP, and it will be running some kind of DHCP server to my R6S. Alright, so we have two different network here. This is the network from the R6S, and this is the network from my upstream router. Alright, so on this NanoPi R6S, we will be configuring the OpenVPN client and Wireguard VPN client. It will connect to the Wireguard VPN and OpenVPN server located in here with the IP of 10.7.0.1 and 10.8.0.1. But before doing that, let's go to the GitHub and get the latest release of the FriendlyWrt. So if you don't know where to get it, here is the link, and I will put it on the video description as well, so you don't need to worry about that. Alright, so R6S FriendlyWrt, this is the firmware that we need. It was released 2 days ago. Actually, I need the 22.03, not 21. So this will be the image that I will need. Unfortunately, with the previous firmware that I have downloaded, there is no luci-app-statistics option. So I will give a try with edit age. Alright, so it will be 192.168.2.1, and I just need to log into the router. So let's go to TMP. And here, this is the FriendlyWrt URL. So let me see, we have, alright, root-fs, FriendlyWrt.cur, and then we have R6S. Alright, so this will be the image that I need to get. Copy the link, and then on the TMP directory, I just need to run wget, followed by the URL, and hit enter. And yep, the firmware is being downloaded. Unfortunately, I cannot find a way to update the firmware via CLI. So I will need to take a look at the OpenWrt documentation. Alright, so this is how they do it. So system upgrade -v, and then TMP, and then this one. Okay, so let's give a try. System upgrade.v. And because right now we are staying in the TMP directory, so we can just put R6S and hit enter. And I'm not sure if it is going to go through, but let's wait for it. Now I will try to ping 192.168.2.1-t to see if the router is up and running. Alright, very good. I already have the response from the router. So let's refresh the page. Let's go to 192.168.2.1, and yep, we are in the new team. Alright, so by default, the username is root and the password is password. Very good. Let's see. So FriendlyWrt NanoPi R6S, and we're running kernel version 5.10.110. So this is the current firmware version. Everything looks good. we have 32 GB of space. However, I don't like this kind of theme, so I will need to go to system, and then it should be administration. So let me see where I can revert the theme. I believe it should be somewhere on the system, language and style. So the design icon, no, I want to go back to the bootstrap, save and apply. Alright, so we're back to the good old theme of FriendlyWrt. By default, there is no OpenVPN or Wireguard VPN, so we will need to install it one by one. So first of all, we will need to update the list, and then let's search for Wireguard luci-app-Wireguard, and I believe it should install everything. Very good. And then let's install luci-app-OpenVPN, and it will let me see. So we can see that the luci-app-OpenVPN doesn't install OpenVPN, so we need to install it anyway. So it should be OpenVPN, OpenSSL, install. Very good. So now I believe we need to log out and log back in. Alright, that's it. We have network interfaces. And let me see if I can add Wireguard VPN. No, we have no Wireguard VPN. Alright, we're back to the NanoPi R6S, and let's configure the Wireguard VPN. And this time we already have Wireguard VPN, so I will put it WG. So the private key and everything, I already have the file. I'm not sure if we have a drag and drop. Yes, we do have. Very good. Right, so for the new Wireguard VPN version, we can just import the configuration file. So let me drag and drop the file, so it will be somewhere right here. Okay, yep, everything is ready. Let's make sure it is assigned to the one firewall zone, and the peer, everything is correct, and yes, save, and then save and apply. Alright, so we have the Wireguard VPN up and running, and now let's try to ping 10.7.0.1, and yep, it is up and running. Very good. So now let's begin with the test. So I will be running the test with both OpenSpeedTest and iPub3. So it will be 10.7.0.1 equal 3000, and then I will be running top as well as htop. So here is the top result, and here let me put htop. Alright, unfortunately htop is not pre-installed, so I will need to run the opkg update, and then opkg install htop. Alright, so we are ready for the test, and once again this is the Wireguard VPN gateway. Let me refresh the page and let's go. We are running at around 1100 Mbps with the CPU at 53% idle. And we can see that the load is shared between all cores of the CPU. For upload, we are running at 600, 700, and actually it is 710 Mbps with the CPU at around 65% CPU idle. That is a really good result to see, but let's check out if the traffic is passing by the Wireguard interface instead of the normal one interface. So for this, I will need to check out the daemon packet. So I believe it should be daemon and then P and then WG. So here is the Wireguard interface. And let's run the test again just to confirm that. Very good, we are running at 1000 and around 100 Mbps, and we can see the same on the daemon output right here. So it is 108 megabytes per second. And the same for upload, we are running at 860 Mbps and the TX is 105 megabytes per second. Alright, so now let's open the command prompt on my PC, and then we are going to have an iPub3 test. iPub3-C and then 10.7.0.1, and I think it will be a P4. So let's see. And you can see we are running at 1.3 gigabit per second, and we can see the same here on the daemon monitor. This time let's run it longer and let's check it out. Alright, so we have 126 megabytes per second throughput with the CPU at around 50% idle. So this is a really good Wireguard VPN throughput with the NanoPi R6S. Alright, so we have done the test with Wireguard VPN, and now it's time to check it out with OpenVPN. So first I will stop the Wireguard interface to make sure it is not running, and I will move on to configure OpenVPN. In order to configure OpenVPN, all I need to do is go to OpenVPN section right here and give it a new name, let's say VPN, and hit the browse button to select the OpenVPN configuration file. After that, let's hit upload, and now take enable star and then save and apply. Alright, so we can see that the VPN connection is up and running, and we should have the tuner interface up and running as well. So let's go to network interfaces, and here I will go to add new interface. For the name, I will put it OpenVPN, and for the protocol, it will be unmanaged. The device will be tuner 0. Let's see, yep, it is here. Create interface and make sure the firewall zone is 1, and that's it. We have everything up and running. So now let's hit save and apply. Alright, so we have the tuner 0 up and running with TX and RX. This is good. So now as usual, we will start with OpenSpeedTest. So as usual, I will be using top to check the CPU uses, and then I will use daemon tuner 0 to check the throughput of the tuner. Alright, so The OpenVPN is available on 10.a.0.1, so let's check it out. So unfortunately, the traffic is not flowing to the tuner, but it is going through the one interface, which is not right. So I will give it a try by restarting the router and to make sure that the traffic is flowing through the tuner 0 interface. So let's check it out. So right here we can see that most of the traffic is going through this one, which is not correct. So let's go to System, Reboot, and reboot the router before we proceed with the test. Alright, it is ready. So at the usual top, and then log in. And after that, let's run pmon p tuner 0. And now I can see the traffic flowing through the tuner 0 interface, and I assume everything should be up and running. So with OpenSpeedTest, we are having around 300 Mbps OpenVPN throughput with 83% CPU idle, and the traffic is flowing through the tuner 0. For upload, we are running at the same speed, and the CPU is also at, let me see, 86% CPU idle. Now let's check it out with iPub3. So it will be iPub3.c and then T20 followed by 10. Alright, so it shouldn't be 10, it should be 10.a.0.1 T20 and then -p4 and hit enter. So we have more or less the same throughput with iPub3, and actually for iPub3 we have a higher throughput, and we can see that it is fluctuating between 380 and then 370 and also 400. And the final result, we are having around 365. So we can see that with iPub3 we have different result, different speed, like this one 330, this one 300, and this one is 429. But I believe usually for OpenVPN we don't have this kind of multiple connection. So I will remove the P4 and we just run it with T20. So this time we got the OpenVPN throughput at around 321 megabit per second, which is more or less the same with the OpenSpeedTest result that we have. So let's run the speed test again with TOF and let's check it out. Let's see the CPU utilization of a core. So this time we can see that the load is on core 4, 5, and 6, and also core 1. So we can see that for this kind of OpenVPN, it is not a single core anymore. Perhaps there's something of NAT or something happening in the background, but the core is not fully utilized. So let's see how is the core utilization when we are running the test with OpenSpeedTest. So we can see that with OpenSpeedTest as well as iPub3, the CPU utilization is not on a single core but all the cores of the CPU. So perhaps this is something new on the NanoPi R6S or on the firmware, or perhaps the router is doing some kind of NAT in the background. That's why we see the CPU utilization on all cores. Alright, so let me log back into the FriendlyWrt's overview, and on the statistics we can have a quick check at the graph. So let me see, we have the interfaces. We have so far only VLAN, system load, and memory, also turbo. And right now the outside temperatures is around 26 degrees Celsius, and when we are running the test, the peak temperatures is around, it should be around 40 degrees Celsius. So we can see that the temperatures is also good and it's not a concern when we're running the test or we are running the device in a real environment. Alright, so the processor, this is how the users looks like. We have the system load, it is only around 0.6, and the memory, it is just, let me see, for the use memory it is just around 100 megabytes. Okay. Alright, so that will be the result for OpenVPN and Wireguard VPN on the NanoPi R6S. In the next videos, I will try to simulate a torrent download and uploading between my client PC and a device in the one side, and let's check out the SQM QoS performance when we are running like torrent downloadings with a high bandwidth or high throughput, maybe 1 GB or 2 GB of download or upload at the same time. So that will be all for this video. Thanks for watching and see you all in the next one.